Okay. Recording started.
All right.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so proud and happy to be able to present to the women that you are familiar with at the EmpowerHer conference. And you could talk more about it, give the details, the dates, and that kind of thing. And then we could talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Okay. Awesome. So yes, Empower Her, Revive and Thrive Women's Retreat will be in September. It is a 2-day retreat, the 27th through the 28th. And tickets are available online on Eventbrite. You can type in Empower Her 24 or Empower Her Revive and Thrive, and it will come up. And this retreat is for women that are constantly on the go. They need a break, just need to reset, revive. It's also for individuals that are just wanting to connect with other women.
Networking, huh?
Yes, network or bonding, having, building other relationships, because a lot of women don't have a sister circle. So I want women to be able to come and, do that as well. And get information about our bodies, our minds. I'm going to have a therapist there, and then we are lucky to have you there, for you to bring your knowledge and your experience, to help us women, myself included. Um, at the retreat, we'll be doing meditation, yoga, and again, just having a range of different speakers, that will actually educate us on our mind, our body, and spirituality and motivation.
Okay.
So that's just the gist of what it's going to be in those 2 days.
Okay.
Next time I will do a 3-day retreat, because I feel like we just needed one more day.
Okay.
I don't want it to be too tightly packed to the
Right.
point where we are overwhelmed, tired, and we didn't get a break to just enjoy nature or
Right.
just enjoy the amenities at the hotel, because they actually have some nice amenities there. Um, I'm a water girl, so I like to be in the ocean or the pool.
Me too.
So they have an indoor pool that I know that I'm going to be in. So
Right.
I said, okay, we need a little break so we can go and enjoy some things. They have a nature trail, bikes that we can check out and ride up around, volleyball, tennis. It's a lot of things too outside of what we're going to be doing in the retreat that the ladies can take part in. And to me, just being able to kind of disconnect from the realities of life and the hustle bustle of work or family, and just be able to come and just focus on you and take that time.
Right.
Um,
You know
but
why
that,
I think that this is good is because now that women have gotten into thinking about self-care, they
yes,
think that it's only supposed to be one day a week on
yeah,
Sunday.
yeah,
And I think personally, I think self-care is every day,
yeah,
because you need to restore yourself, just like going to sleep at night to get up the next day to do it again. You need to restore yourself every single day,
yes.
and that's the breakthrough. And I know that's what you're talking about here, all of these different things that can help women to create that breakthrough for themselves.
Yes, and I know we kind of spoke briefly in our conversations that we've had on telling people no, learning to say no. And I struggle with that as well, whether it's telling your kids no sometime or a family member, it could anything, but being able to say no and just say, hey, I got to take this time for myself. But
Right.
again, like you said too, with the self-care, like it's some people that don't do anything maybe once a month. They might get a massage once a month or once every other month, and that's it. But
Some people
it's
think doing their nails is self-care. That's maintenance. That's
yes,
maintenance.
yes, yeah. And that's definitely not self-care for me, because it's stressful going to some of these nail salons today. So no, that massage chair is not gonna get it for me.
Right.
So no, but I understand if they think that, because they are, some people take pride in their looks or their beauty, and that makes them feel good. So I get it, but
Right.
it's more to the self-care on just making sure our mind stays,
Sharp.
together.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, and it's key.
Mhm.
But for you, I would love to hear more about you, because I looked at the information that you sent me. I looked at your page, and it's not just like women that are wanting to, get pregnant or having, issues with conceiving, but you do a lot with the women, with our bodies. So I would like to hear like exactly, what you do.
Okay. Well, I went to Berkeley, and I consider myself part of a social justice movement for women. It started when I was a young girl because, thank God or goddess, my mom was a liberated woman in a time of no liberation for women, but she taught that to me because she knew what could happen and how it could change. And that is the key, is that mothers give their daughters permission to do something outside of the circle of what is so-called real world and stuff women do,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's kind of how I started. So I was doing Divest South Africa, with Bishop Tutu and all of these big things. This is during the time when Jesse Jackson was running for president.
Okay.
And, it was very exciting, And so myself and some other sisters, we started a First World Feminist for Freedom, And we had all types of women, Alice Walker and all of these women that were teaching there, and Dr. Angela Davis, and all of these different powerful sisters who were already doing things. And we would bring them in and have these big seminars and everything, but we had work that we did all the time. So I was always like registering people to vote and over in West Oakland and various things,
Okay.
And it was always about empowering women and making sure that women didn't do all the grunt work without getting the glory,
Mm-hmm.
That's what we still do, Women run the world. We're one of the, most powerful beings on the planet. We do everything, but we push our partners in front, or our bosses or our pastors or whoever in front, and give them all the glory and they just showed up, and we've been doing this every night for months,
Mm-hmm.
And they don't feel no way about that, not giving you any credit, and you don't say nothing and they don't say nothing. And everybody's sitting there playing this game while their stomach is churning, while their womb is twisting, while their blood pressure is going up, and all of these things are part of the game that women have been taught to play to get along and to get love.
Yeah.
And so my thing has always been to empower women and to help them recognize where they're supposed to stand up for their brains and their energy and their ideas and, their children. Of course, you can't stop that. But sometimes you got to tell your children, oh, it's private time. It's me time. I'm just going to sit in my room with my door closed and read. And you might need to go do that too, And kids really respond to that and respect that, because they do want to have you not watching them all the time. And they do want to have their own abilities to come up with ideas and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in working with this whole thing, of course, it has stopped women from having children. It has stopped women's fertility, because our creativity comes from our orange chakra, which is in the womb area. Mm-hmm. And so when you have a lot of frustration, I say, if you hate your mama, you hate your job, you hate your commute, you hate where you live, you hate your partner, your kids is getting on your nerves, that impacts your ability to be able to create, and you have to be able to tell yourself, oh, you are a problem. Let me see how to minimize you. I mean, and that's like for your job, for, even if your kids is getting on your nerves, you got to say, you know what? I've done everything I can. You 28, you 29, you 30, and at this point, I have taken a lot of the lumps, but now it's time for me to only deal with you if you in jail or if you bleeding. You know,
Yeah. Emergency only. Emergency only.
only.
True emergency.
True emergency. You know,
Yes.
and women have really responded to that all over. You know, I've done the Tom Joyner cruise, and I have the biggest rooms, and they're packed, standing room only, and Talia Wajid World Natural Health and Hair Show, and standing room only. I mean, so the thing is that women reverberate with this message because they recognize that it's true, and the thing is that we have to tell ourselves the truth so we can heal. Yes. Because that is so much of the problem, is that we allow ourselves to keep telling ourselves fiction and lies so that we can get along with other people. Yeah. Well, you know what? If they're going to be mad, they might as well be mad for a reason.
Yeah. But it's that suppressing trauma too. I think I talked with one of our speakers. We talked about that, how some of us don't even realize we, are holding on to trauma or suppressing trauma, that we even went through trauma. So, it's a lot of us that, don't realize it until we get a certain age or finally go and call and speak on, to speak with a therapist, counselor, or something. It's a lot of women that don't even realize it.
Right. So, well, actually, I think people are starting to pay more attention to it since we just went through the COVID trauma. Yes. The COVID trauma made everybody realize that this kind of stuff don't go off because it stops, And I do recommend, herbal education consultations, and I call them that because I'm teaching women how to decipher what your body is telling you. And a lot of times the way that women get out of being responsible all the time is that they got to be sick. Yeah. And I mean, they got to be flat sick, or they got to get surgery. So I have worked with women who got surgery on their shoulder, surgery on their elbow, surgery on their toes, had a hysterectomy. I mean, they just going around the body, cutting and nipping and taking stuff off because that's the only way they get to sit down and the only way that people take care of them. Yes. And that's what I am trying to help us recognize. Do not make your OBGYN's life easy and nice because you go along with him saying, how old are you? Oh, 35. You want to have any more children? No. Well, you might as well get rid of it. You don't need it. Oh, man, that's not the answer.
Yes, that's do not that.
The answer.
Yes. Yeah. That happened to me 2 years ago.
Happened to everybody.
Yeah. I didn't do it, though.
But they bring it.
But they did. They offered it to me and was like, well, we can go ahead and do a hysterectomy. And I was like, I actually had just had surgery on my elbow, a pinched nerve. I said, I'm not having surgery again. I can't. I got to find other alternatives. And the other alternative worked. But if I had not asked about other alternatives, they was ready to schedule that surgery.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I've seen, they weren't my clients, but they came to me eventually where these women have had myomectomies where they so-called cut out the lumps of fibroids and other things 12 times, 12 surgeries, and I'm thinking to myself, and I understand, but I'm thinking to myself, if it didn't work 7 times, sis, why you let them do it 8?
3.
I'm just saying, I get that you keep trying to see if it's going to work, but like you said, 3, 4, 5, it ain't still not working and you still doing it. This is not your solution. Yeah. You need to get with, a therapist and a counselor and somebody like me, somebody like you who can help guide them into a space where they can start recognizing what's going on and build up their power. And so that's what I consider myself doing. Is that, I am a social justice warrior who helps women to build up their power because they cannot tell the doctor no. They ain't been telling nobody no in their life. They do not recognize that they are paying for a service. They work for you, So why you keep doing everything that they want because you think, oh, well, they were looking at me a certain way and everything. I tell women, you know what? If you can't do it, the best thing you can do is say, I need to pray on it. Yes. Nobody will challenge that. and you can get out of there without the pressure because everybody backs up. And then you can go and talk to people and realign who you are and what you want.
Yes,
Because,
I like that.
Yeah, that's how you do it. And you don't have to have no studies. You don't have to be able to go back and forth because, really a lot of women have an out-of-body experience when they go to the doctor. And pre-pandemic, I had a whole list of things that women would do when they went to the doctor, which included take someone with you. And during the pandemic, that wasn't possible. But that is the way that person is able to speak for you when you go out of your brain because they saying stuff you just can't even believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can come back later, and ask questions or this, but they trying to get you to sign a dotted line right then.
And I don't know if it's like that for other women, but for me, I think sometimes when I get in the doctor's office, I have a list of things I want to say or ask, and then once I get in there and they get to talking, I forget, or like you said, freeze up. And then it's like once I get home, I'm like, dang it, I should have asked about XYZ. So it's key, I think, too, in having a notepad. Write it down, take it with you that way, so look, this is what I need you to answer or provide this information for me. But having notes with you helps too, I think, when you go to the doctor's office.
You must. Because that's not a equal relationship. And you sitting there wide open, naked, and you got a piece of paper on you. And you got a man that you only see once a year. You go across town, which I always tell women, we telling our daughters they could do everything. We telling them they could be anything. Why are we going to a white man way across town once a year to tell us what's going on with our female body? Why are we doing that? We need to seek out people who look like us, who have similar philosophies, because they got student loans, they got families, they
and that's all I feel
want to help us.
That's all I feel comfortable with is going to one of us for me in comfort, especially now. But as a young girl, that is who my doctor was. It was a white male. That's who my mom recommended. That's who I was sent to. But once I became an adult, I was like, okay, I got to find somebody I feel comfortable with talking to. So yeah, I think that's key too.
I only took my kids to Black doctors because why else? We do everything in the world. Go into the moon, we do everything. Why you can't take your child across town to see the Black doctor? And they appreciate it. And my kids didn't know nothing else, but like you saying, I knew a woman who was in Greenwood, Alabama, and she told me there was 2 older white doctors who one of them had worked with her grandmother, her mother, and now her. I said, sis, no, there is no reason for you to be going to an OBGYN that your grandmother went to. What the heck is going on there? And let me tell you, sis, they were offering a $25 Shoney's gift certificate to any woman that would bring another woman in and she get a hysterectomy.
No.
This is almost the Mississippi epidemic.
Yes. Why I was thinking that.
Yes.
And they in the background laughing that these women coming in here for this $25 gift card to eat
some canned food that they blowing their blood pressure up. Yeah. I mean, so I have heard so many life denigrating stories about Black women, and we know back as far as Malcolm X and so many, Madam C.J. Walker and all of the historical figures who try to empower us and lead us and give us information, that Black women have not been getting any respect for hundreds of years, and it still continues, and that's why we need to bond together, deal with sister circles, and I want to talk to you about that, and do the kinds of things that would enhance our daughters. Look at things that you're doing as would you want your daughter to do that? Would you want your daughter to endure that? You know, even if you don't have a daughter, you know, and that will really rewind a lot of things that you accept. You want to accept that for a younger young Black woman.
Yeah. Yeah. What was you gonna say about the sister circle?
We're starting one on Zoom.
Okay.
You know, I found you in a very blessed way, but we're going to have a WombLoveOlogy sister circle.
Okay.
And we're having coaches and all kinds of things going on. I did that years ago, you know, on audio, you know, and I personally like audio because you know how we are. When we get in the house, you know, we don't need to come on a video with the head bag and the rollers and the, you know, the face mask. We don't need to come on there with that.
Yeah.
So that way, stuff going on in your background, your kids coming to you with their homework and everything, all that don't have to be on the screen. That could just be audio, you know? So that's what I did for years, because we would hear all kinds of stuff in the background, because women come home and they got another job, a whole nother job, you know? And so, but we do recognize that, especially during these times, you know, there is a very strong need for women to talk to other women and get a reality check, you know?
Yes.
That's really what it is a reality check.
Okay.
And, you know, and I think that that is absolutely the type of nurturing that many of us need. Because some of us, our mothers didn't have it. They didn't know, they didn't have it. They had trauma. So they weren't able to bring their A game to us, you know? And so, you know, the more you know, the better you can do, you know? And so we're going to be, you know, doing a lot of things like that, you know? Yeah.
I think that's good. And, you know, like I was mentioning too about the women that's coming, it's some women that don't have anybody to talk to. And I think sometimes just jumping on that call, and even if it's somebody that's not going to share what's going on with them at the moment, sometimes listening to other people, it can touch somebody else just listening to their story. So
because they hear their exact story.
Yeah.
They hear their exact story, and that lets them feel less alone. And once you feel less alone, you realize, okay, you know what? Other people are dealing with this and they moving through it. Let me make this, you know, work a little bit quicker so I can move through it. And one of the things that I like to talk and teach, you know, what we're going to be working with in my seminar is my seminar called How to Be a Grown-Ass Woman, you know. And that seminar is just like it sounds. It's challenging, you know, for us, but also for the outside. But one of the things that we talk about is our seasons and our cycles, and how we are always in a cycle, which is life, death, rebirth, or birth, you know. And when you in a birth cycle, it could be, you know, like, you know, just having a baby, a grandbaby, something new, a new job, a new house, a new car. Is something new. And then with the rebirth, things go up to another level. So maybe you've gotten a great new job, and then they tell you, oh, you could travel, you can live anywhere, you could, you know, have work from home. You know, this is another level of something that you really like and want. And a death cycle is where I meet most women. And a death cycle is when women are saying, my situation. That means that they are in a death cycle. That means they're either getting a divorce, breaking up in a relationship, have some challenges with their kids that are very bad.
Yeah.
You know, and
in a toxic situation.
That is the death cycle. And most people are in death cycles when you meet them. And then what they do is what I'm showing women is to remove yourself from the death cycle. You have to have written goals. So what happens is you immediately look at your goals and say, okay, let me work on this, because I mean, I'm already going, you know, Let me pull off one of these things and start working on it. That immediately takes you into going into the life cycle again, you know, the birth cycle, you know. makes you feel better, gives you more energy, the whole thing. And this is constantly through life. This ain't never gonna stop. So you're doing death, life, birth, rebirth, death, life, birth, rebirth. That's constant. And you always kind of want to know where you are in that cycle. And that's one of the reasons and one of the ways we get women to discuss where they are. You know, we say, well, what cycle are you in? And then they'll say, I'm in a death cycle. Why? Oh, I left my job. My husband left. Da, 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 da. I mean, you know, and then everybody listens and, you know, and then they cry, you know, or they like, but listening to all of this, I'm feeling better about it. I'm glad he left, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so these are the kinds of systems of life to help us succeed that have been developed, and not all by me, but I was able to bring it forward and notice it and, you know, congeal it. And all of us have something to give, you know, all of us have something to give. And I think that it's going to be a great event because you do have the time to talk to people.
And what you were saying too, like with that, you were saying like with the goals. So one of the exercises that I wanted to do is we write down things that are bothering us, worrying us, challenging to us. But then a separate sheet of paper is going to be goals, things that we can do to either help alleviate those problems, issues, things that are holding us back, weighing us down. But we got to have goals written down. I'm a visual person, so like I do manifestation board, you know, my vision boards, because I have to see it. To me, that helps me. It might not help everybody, but for me, I'm a visual person. So I also need to write it down. But I think too, writing those goals down, when you write it down, it's something different with putting it on paper. And then going back, and if you have to read it daily, weekly, or, you know, hey, let me come up here. But action plans to go with those goals too. So I think it's important for women, people, us to have goals that we are actually
written
yes,
goals.
And you don't have to go so far-fetched, like, okay, something I know I'm not going to do, but I just want to put it down. But things, whether it could be something small for somebody who got some type of health goals, and I'm going to do a 1 mile walk, you know, at least once a week. You know, it don't have to be something just, you know, oh, I'm about to be a marathon runner after a month. But small goals, I think, are important just to have. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? My birthday was this week. You know, this is Leo. That's me. Okay. I am always about the massive change.
Okay.
You know?
Happy belated birthday.
Well, the whole month is our Leo birthday. You know, we would get born one day, but we take the whole month.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I'm that way.
Yeah. So I think that women need to bring a journal. Because you want to see the stuff that you would throw away. You want to see your change. You want to see your adjustment. You want to see what you thought was a problem in a year or 6 months. I've been keeping a journal for most of my life, from when I was a little girl and I had this little notepads that was like, you know, just a little scribble pad, you know, memo pad is what they used to call them.
Yes.
Yeah. And I have like 25, 35 journals, all from years and years. And sometimes you go back and look at the journals and you want to cry about what you wanted to cry about years ago, because you cannot believe, one, that you've grown so much, and two, that had you that upset.
Yes. That part.
You didn't have nobody to get you out of that, you know?
Yes.
And that's why I was saying earlier too, that some people, mothers don't have it. My mother died when I was like 18 in my first semester in college, you know. So it's all kinds of situations as to why people don't have their mother, you know, or their mother is not available to do hardcore mothering, you know, because mothering never stops.
Yeah. Or their mother didn't know. They wasn't taught.
Their mother didn't know as many of the time, you know. But people who are 50 want a mother just like somebody that's 20 want a mother, you know. So the mother is the most valuable anchor in society, because mothers create society. They create community. That's why I'm saying that women are the most powerful beings in the universe, because we create everything that we see, from meals and businesses and churches and communities and events like this one you're doing. This is what women do, because women are about helping and healing the community. We are natural healers, and sometimes we don't know what our healing modality is. Yours is creating seminars and bringing people together. Mine is bringing herbs together and doing other types of things that's about the healing. But sometimes women need to be healed first so that they can see what their healing modality is. And a lot of times they are afraid of their healing modality. And that's why we here at EmpowerHer, to help them to have that permission to not be afraid, to go forward and do you. Do not care what people say. They cannot live two lives, yours and theirs.
Exactly. And with this event, I wanted it to be, like that safe space where people can come in and share and open up and, identify if it's trauma. Start the healing process. Share with others to help that sister next to you, So that's really what I'm hoping, to happen. But But I'm so excited. I am so happy that, and I'm actually excited that we actually got this call going today as well. But I'm so happy to have you there, and I think what you're bringing to the table in your presentation is just going to touch a lot of women as well. So,
well, I know that's one of the things I will ask women to do during my seminar time is to create their mission statement. We all on a mission. And when you have your mission statement in short 2 sentences, then you always are on your mission, because you can repeat it to yourself. You could have it written down, but you are able, I call it the elevator speech. You able to recite it to somebody before they can walk away from you. They say, oh, what do you do? Give them your mission statement. You don't have nothing to do with your job. Your job is what you sometimes do to make money. But your mission as to why you here is a whole different thing, and and my mission statement is to empower and heal women and their families, quick, easy to, and then people ask me, how do you do that? Oh, I'm a naturopath and a master herbalist. I create formulas. I do seminars. I mean, so you have it all in your mind. You ain't got to say it all. It's in your heart, and you need to have it in your, self. And you do need to do it.
I just did that last week. I got my statement. I haven't memorized it, but I have it written down.
Okay.
So I did just do that. When I first started the event, someone had asked me why I wanted to create the event. What was the reason behind it? So I knew the reason, because for me, for years I had been wanting to attend a retreat. And I went online, I found a couple of things, but it was places like far off, whether it was Hawaii or Arizona, other places where it was going to take airfare, plus the retreat was like 5 or 6 days long, and I just did not have the time to take off of work that long. And I never found anything, just like what I'm doing, 2 days, 3 days, and close by. So I just said, okay, well, and this was like 3-4 years ago. I wrote it down and said, okay, I'm going to host a retreat myself and bring together the people that I would want to see, at the retreat. And that's how it began for me. Just wanted to first go to a retreat myself, but not being able to. So I feel like also just having like a mini retreat, it makes it more feasible for some women who aren't ready to take that leap of that self-care where I want to take a week off, but maybe I could take 2 days off, because 2 days sounds a little bit better. So I'm hoping that it'll begin there, and that even for some women, if they take these 2 days, then maybe they want to do something more, beyond the 2-day retreat. But that's initially where it started for me.
So, well, that, what? That's how most things start. Even myself, I always took vitamins and did things, but when you have kids, that making herbs and doing stuff go to a whole different level, because for various reasons, but making sure your kids are healthy and making sure that they can think and feel good, and that's a very important thing for moms, and so but then it enlarges my mission, had to, because women are helping their children, and I'm looking at them and they can hardly stand up because they've been losing blood for 3 weeks, heavy. And I'm like, sis, I need to help you. You can't help your kids. You can't drive them and do all this stuff if you're not good. And then I, made those formulas, the womb detox. And then you got this, your blood pressure's up. How you standing? I mean, our people need a lot.
Yeah.
And we always need to be cognizant. And there's so many of us that can do things to help the group. Yes. And so that's what we need to be doing.
Yes. Coming together,
a village.
Yes. So do you grow your herbs?
I did when I lived out in the country, out in Newton County. But then I found that is a whole thing by itself. Because I would be out there at 6 a.m. in the greenhouse and doing the seeds and then watering the other plants and then doing this and doing that. And then I go inside, shower, and then start the herbal formulas. And then I would have somebody take them into town for me, which is Atlanta, to the stores. Yeah. It was too much. Yeah. And that's when you have to tell yourself something like, oh, you know what? This sounds good, but it's too much.
Yeah. Make it easier. You got to make it easier.
I can do this same thing without doing every bit of it because somebody else got the other part, Yes. And I tell women that when they try to say, where are you located? Let me come and get my herbs. I said, sis, that's why there are people who do that. FedEx and UPS, they do that all day.
Look, but that's saving them travel too.
Right. That's why I said FedEx and UPS will bring it to you.
Yeah.
You don't have to come and get it. But some of us are really accustomed to going everywhere to do stuff, I remember back in the day when people used to go pay their bills, and they would go into the place and pay their bills, I mean, so we have to look at the technology of life and how it has given us so many opportunities to have help, have help. And then some women, I tell them, hey, sis, you deserve Molly Maid. You need to get somebody in to help you. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yes. I went through that younger. Well, I ain't gonna say younger, but when my kids was older, I think some of us as women, we think if we have to call somebody out from outside to come and help us inside our home, it means that we're not doing something right. But it only helps us. And when I say when my kids were younger, when you got one playing football, one cheerleading, then you got praise dance at church, you got this, it's so many things, and you got to work a full-time job.
Right.
And they got to go to school. It's so much you have to do, and you
ain't even talked about eating yet.
Yes, but you being stretched, and it was no self-care. During that time. It's self-care now because my kids are grown.
Yeah, but we want to catch you before that now.
Yes.
The big mamas like us need to teach the little mamas. Don't do it that way. Yeah.
Yes, take something off your plate.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you're not capable of doing it the right way. It just means you need that in order to go the right direction. So and be healthy for your children. So but yeah.
And you know what? Use that time to do something you like. While they coming in and do the laundry, you could go outside or go to the gym or go to the pool or go get that massage. This is an opportunity to reappoint your time. You only got so many hours.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think the women are going to have a great time at this event. And because they have a chance to sit with each other and talk and eat and drink tea and stay up late if they want to with the sisters they meeting, I think that's always so wonderful. When it's like having a sleepover.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But okay, well, thank you. I enjoyed our conversation, and I look forward to seeing you in person at the event. But again, EmpowerHer, Revive and Thrive Retreat.
Give them a website.
It's on Eventbrite. Eventbrite.com, and all you need to search is just EmpowerHer24, and it will come up.
Okay,
And then
your IG.
Yes, and then my IG is EmpowerHer_. Hold on, let me give it to you correctly.
Yes, yes. I think it's going to be a great thing.
Yes.
Even the word.
Yes.
Empower
Yes.
her.
So
Yes.
on Instagram is EmpowerHer_events. And again, that's on Instagram. And Eventbrite, just search EmpowerHer24, and the event should come up. But the link is also on my Instagram as well.
Okay. You have it Facebook or anything else? Twitter?
No, I don't have Facebook, but I do have TikTok, and the TikTok is EmpowerHer24.
Okay. Okay. Well, we want people to stay in contact until that day.
Yes. Engage.
Yes.
If you have any questions, you can DM me, message me, email me. But it's a lot of content that I'm trying to put out there. But if you got questions, just let me know.
Yes. This is going to be a great event. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yes. So I'm Dr. HerbSistah, and y'all can find me at drherbsistah.com, and the same at Twitter and Instagram, and WombLoveOlogy. Yeah, TikTok. I'm Dr. HerbSistah on everything. So you can find me. And we're gonna have some little clips and stuff to keep y'all going this whole time. Myself and Sanina, and we're going to make sure that you empowered all the way up until that day, so you can bring your whole self.
Yes.
Bring your whole self to us, and be ready to be empowered, to be relaxed, to be refurbished.
Revive and thrive.
Right.
We want you to revive.
Right, and we're gonna talk to y'all in between all the time. Okay, so have a great herbal day, and I'm looking forward to talking to y'all again.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll talk to y'all.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.